It is yet again a beautiful day in the neighborhood. There is no snow, there is no rain, there is just sun and a whole lot of wind. And we welcome you to Fred, Friendly Rants, Entertaining Discussions, the Tulsa World Scene podcast. I'm here with my colleagues, Jimmie, Tramel, and Grace Wood, where we talk about everything dealing with pop culture, both high and low, as well as eating. And for reasons that we probably cannot divulge at this time, Mr. Tramel and Miss Wood spent a bit of yesterday in Pawhuska, where Grace, I believe you got to sample something new and different for you.
Yeah. So this was actually my second time ever being to Pawhuska. And we went to P-Town Pizza, which is the Pioneer Woman Ree Drummond's pizza joint. And it was really good. I ordered the pizza Ree, with the Ree being for Ree Drummond. That was the name of my pizza. And it was really good. It had like a layer of basil pesto with like 3 different cheeses and baby tomatoes and basil and like a balsamic glaze on top. So really good. I had like half of it for lunch and then the other half for dinner. And the service was really great. The pizzas came out quickly. The servers were super nice. And it was also reasonably priced. So yeah, I definitely go back and recommend it to anybody who's going to Pawhuska. I know sometimes the restaurant that's like in the Mercantile can have a really crazy long wait. At least it did when I went there. So P-Town Pizza could be a really good alternative. So
okay. Did you order? Do you order a whole pizza, or I mean, you said you had half and half, or are they just the slices or so large?
Yeah, they have 3 different sizes. It's like a 12-inch, which is like a personal pizza size, which is what I got, and then a 14-inch and an 18-inch, which is the largest. So my whole table, we got 3 small ones. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay. How would you rate it against what is your favorite Tulsa area pizza? And what would be your favorite Tulsa area pizza?
My favorite Tulsa area pizza is Hideaway. I would say, I think I still like Hideaway a little better because I really enjoy Hideaway's crust, like their thicker crust. It's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit fluffier, because I'm a big crust person. I enjoy dipping it in ranch dressing. And the crust at P-Town Pizza was good and flavorful, but a little bit too thin for me. So that's like the only one I have, but it was still really good flavors on everything else. So yeah, that's my review.
Now, Jimmie, as I understand it, you missed out on the pizza party in Pawhuska, the Pawhuska pizza party.
I was the odd man out because I had a 2-interview situation, and I drove separately. It was not part of the pizza situation, but I did go to Tasty Freeze in Skytook on the way back and had a cheeseburger and fries. So, and then zipped by the DX and the Rexall in Sperry to see how the restorations of that's going because they're outsiders locations.
Right.
Spots. But no, I'm anxious to try the pizza they've talked about. And my favorite pizza locally, if we do away with chains, is one where you can buy it by the slice and you pick it up, and it's so heavy, all the toppings, you have to have a plate because all the toppings will fall off otherwise. And that's Umberto's Pizza.
Umberto's is yes, I would agree with that. I'm a big fan of Umberto's, which is dangerously close to my house. Speaking of pizza, a local pizza shop, Zaza's Pizza, which is on South Memorial and also in Mother Road Market, recently was featured. I think it was Wednesday of last week was featured on the Today Show. There is a new cooking show starting up on whatever streaming, as a Peacock streaming network. that's focusing on innovative women food entrepreneurs. And Tara Hatton, who's the owner and chef of Zaza's Pizza, was featured there. I believe she's running a Today Show special for a couple of days on slices of her pickle pizza, which is one of her signature creations, and a chicken and waffle pizza that does have, yes, big chunks of waffle on top of it. So I think those are some things to check out. And she also does things, like pepperoni and sausage if you're not quite so adventurous. But well, and also speaking of speaking of Pawhuska and Pioneer Woman, in January we did a story about the Mercantile closing down for renovations. Well, it is apparently back open. There was a post on their Facebook page Thursday morning that the restaurant was back in business in full. I think they're going to be doing a official grand reopening this coming weekend, April 27th through 29. So those people that have been heading to Pawhuska wanting to go to the Mercantile or Tile, is it Mercantile or Mercantile?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. It might be Mercantile, but anyway, those wishing to see the flagship epicenter of the Pioneer Woman lifestyle, they will now be able to do so because it is open in Pawhuska. Let me see, what else do we have coming up? Well, one last thing about food before we move on. We'll be featuring, and it kind of ties into Pawhuska, two of the things that we're going to have in Sunday's Tulsa World, available at fine newsstands everywhere and at tulsaworld.com, will be an interview with David Gran, the author of Killers of the Flower Moon. He'll be here Wednesday, April 26th, to do an event for Magic City Books about his new book called The Wager, a tale of shipwreck, mutiny, and murder, which, strangely enough, I happen to have close at hand. This is a fascinating, entertaining, and at times horrifying book, but not without moments of Black humor. But it is about a 1740 expedition when England was at war with Spain to track down a galleon that was loaded with treasure, and everything goes wrong. And it resonates oddly with our world today. And to find out about that, you'll need to read the Tulsa World. So what else do we have coming up for people to read for their dining and dancing pleasure in future issues of the Tulsa World? Jimmie, what do you have coming up?
Well, as strange as a comeback as this would ever seem, maybe typewriters, there's still hope for typewriters. But vinyl continues its comeback. I mean, for 17 years in a row, vinyl sales, vinyl albums have increased. Who would have saw this coming 17 years ago, that albums would be big time again as far as vinyl? But just in time for Record Store Day on Saturday, it's an annual event, we have a story about the vinyl comeback.
Okay. Are you are either of you vinyl record aficionados at all, or are we talking about something, Grace, that you have absolutely no experience with?
No, I have, let's see, probably 20.
Okay.
I'm no aficionado, but I do think they're fun to collect. In my old room, I had them all displayed on my walls. So I think they're really cool, and I'm here for the comeback for sure. What about you, Jimmie? Do you have vinyl?
Typically, I only buy things that mean something to me. If it's just like Smokey and the Bandit soundtrack, yes. Angel Martin sings the blues from the Rockford Files, yes. The Billy Jack soundtrack, yes. The Archies, yes, but not just random great classic albums by band. It's more so things that just catch my eye.
What was the first vinyl album that you bought? Do you remember?
Ever?
Yeah.
It might have been like a Star Wars soundtrack kind of thing in the 70s.
Okay. Do you remember the first vinyl album you bought, Grace?
It was probably when I was really deep in my Nirvana stage. So it was probably Nevermind.
Okay.
Like back in I thought I was really cool for that. So
Well, I'll date myself. The first album I bought was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John.
So you're the guy that bought that.
I'm the guy. Yeah, I'm the one. And I still have it. I don't have a turntable or speakers, but I still have all the records. So anyway, speaking of national holidays, I believe Earth Day is coming up or has come up or is anyway. We're in the midst of Earth Day things, and Grace, you have something this Saturday that ties in with that.
Yeah, so Earth Day is this Saturday, the 22nd. So I have a story about a local organization called Yard by Yard, the Yard by Yard Project, rather. And they just help people all throughout Oklahoma kind of transform their yards and their gardens into more ecologically diverse and functional places that are more conducive for plant and animal life, as well as just the broader environment. So they're helping people plant pollinator plants and native plants and making their own fruit and vegetable gardens, or helping them kind of phase out synthetic fertilizers and things like that. So they've helped over 100 people, I believe, in like 25 counties across Oklahoma do this, which is really cool. And yeah, I just talked to several people who are a part of this organization about, you know, what they've been doing, how they do it, and the goals they have for the future. So that'll come out this Saturday on Earth Day.
Okay.
So,
Saturday will be Earth Day. Okay, then everything works out great. Well, is creating this kind of a landscape an expensive project, or is it something that is more, you know, common sense than it is aesthetics? Or I mean, because you know, like organic foods cost more than the stuff with all the chemicals in it. Is that kind of the situation here? Is this something that anyone could do and or afford to do?
yeah, it seems like I know that they have a bunch of different conservation practices that people can implement. So it could be anything from just making the choice to not mow your lawn as often, because having slightly higher grass can like can help which just like, I don't know, can lead to wasting water. So it could be something as simple as just like, hey, instead of mowing your grass every 2 weeks, only do it once a month or every 3 weeks or something like that. Or you can do the full vegetable garden with like raised beds and stuff like that. They really have like a wide variety of things. So you can do kind of what works best for you. And they offer consultations to help people choose what's working best for them and for their budget and things like that. So it's really for everyone.
Okay. All right. Well, let's hear it for not mowing your yard so often. So anyway,
you can be a part of it.
I can 100% get behind that. All right. Well, I think that will wrap up for this edition of Fred, the Tulsa World Scene podcast. Thank you all for putting up with our blathering on, and we will gladly see you later.
Behave.
Bye.